I love it. I believe we're live.
Okay, that's cool.
Hi there, Mike Lucy, hashtag Marketing with Mike of 3D Business Solutions. And today we have the honor and privilege of being joined by... I'm recording. Recording now. Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Hi, Hernan. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, Mike. Hey, everyone. It's super good to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. My name is Hernan Vazquez. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a digital marketer, you could say so. And I've been working on SEO mostly for the good part of 7-8 years. And over the past 3 years, I've been hitting hard the CPC because I really needed to grow my online businesses, my 3 companies now. And, so I've been working a lot with Facebook advertising for the past 3 years, training fellow entrepreneurs. And here I am. I've met Michael and I'm super thrilled to be here. It's a great experience.
Very cool. So we got together end of last week and we introduced each other and we decided to have a session. I had asked Hernan, what do you want to talk about? And he said, well, I got a great topic. Let's talk about helping people lower their CPC costs. Mm-hmm. So I said, right on. I actually had another plan for today, so I deferred that other topic until next week, and you're more than welcome to join next week as well. But CPC cost, how to optimize your Facebook ads and lower your CPC cost is what we're going to be talking about today. Mm-hmm. First thing I'd like to say is we're live on Blab right now, so that's the main console, but we're also live on Facebook on my personal profile as well as a couple groups. In a minute, I'll share it to our business page. I'm going to monitor Blab and my personal Facebook profile. If you have any questions or comments or anything to contribute, please ask in line here in Blab or otherwise on my personal profile on Facebook. I'll be monitoring both. So let's get the party started. Facebook CPC, for the people that aren't familiar with this crazy terminology, CPM, CPC, CPA, explain, Hernan, what we mean by CPC and why it's important.
Well, I mean, the short version of CPC is cost per click. When you are advertising on Facebook, you have on pretty much all of the advertising platforms online, you have several ways of the platform charging you on your advertising. So one of the most effective ways of advertising is cost per click. I mean, you get charged every time somebody clicks on your ad. That's basically the TLDR. Then you have another kinds of charging you, like cost per mil, like on 1,000 impressions, you get charged X amount of dollars. On conversions, you could be charged per conversion, like every time, somebody purchases or somebody signs up to your email list, for example. That's another option inside Facebook. So Facebook gives you a ton of different opportunities and different charging methods depending on what you want to achieve in the platform. I think cost per click or CPC is like the standard or where everyone starts when starting to advertise. And it's important because the higher the CPC is, the more money you're spending per click, and that is that you can drive so many clicks on any given day with a set budget that you usually have for your campaign. So I think it's kind of important to know how to optimize your CPC to basically drive more clicks with the same amount of money. That's basically what we are after today.
So you made me think of 2 questions, and I'll ask the first one, and I'm likely to forget the second one. But so the first question is, and this is I understand it's a very difficult question to answer, but can you help us, give us a number? What's a good CPC? What's a good CPC for a Facebook ad? I know it can range, but what do you target when you do CPC? What cost?
Well, it's funny that you asked that question, actually, because I was thinking before our meeting, and I was kind of preparing for the meeting, and I think that the best CPC on any campaign is the one that's bringing you positive results or a good return on the investment. So you could be saying, depending on the niche, I know that you have been doing some real estate, and I know that you have been on different niches. So depending on the niche, the cost per click can vary, from anywhere from $1, $2 per click, all the way down to a couple of cents per click. Now, what's important, I would say, it's not how much you're paying, while we are going to be seeing some strategies to actually lower your CPC, how much you're paying. But the question is, are you profitable on your campaign? You know, because on any given day, if you are paying $1 per click, but you're getting like $1.20 or $1.50 back, that's a good cost per click. Does it make sense?
Yeah. One thing, every ad in my world, every ad is different. Every audience is different. But I have some very high level rules that I use in my conversations. And here's what I use. And please feel free to beat me up on this one. Okay. The guidance I recommend for people is that the range of CPC should be between 30 cents and $1. And there's a lot of factors that you'll find over time, and you'll find that the CPC will fluctuate.
Right.
And when you hit the 80-cent CPC, it's time to take a look at the overall ad, the campaign and the ad as a whole. Take a look at the audience, compare results day over day, week over week, and then try to find out why the costs are going up or why the costs are going down. And once you understand how to analyze and interpret the data, you're better positioned to make adjustments to the ad to try and drive the cost down.
Right, right. Yeah, it makes total sense, and I agree with you. We need to understand, because CPC, you know, the model of cost per click, it's also applied on other advertising platforms. For example, Google AdWords. You know, it's one of the biggest platforms out there. And usually, when you have higher cost per clicks, and you know that it can go all the way up to $50 per click or something like that on super competitive niches. But again, you know, if somebody's paying that amount of money per click, it's because they are making their money back. So I totally understand when you're doing Facebook, the dynamics of Facebook make that people probably they are not out there wanting to purchase things. You know, they're out there hanging out, you know, reading articles or watching pictures, whatever. They're not out there wanting to actually purchase things. Whereas on Google, for example, they are out there actually, you know, looking to buy something or to hire a service or a professional or something. So those are big difference, and that's why you usually end up paying less per click on Facebook than on AdWords. So I totally get what you're saying, and I agree.
So that's a common conversation I have with people, the difference between social and search, and more importantly, expectations. So search is intent-based. So people typically go to Google when they have intent on purchasing. Now, whether they're doing their research and doing competitive pricing or checking out the different options available, there's usually an intent. On the social side of the fence, it's a nurturing process. It's not intent-based. It can be intent-based, but it's more about trust building than anything else.
Right. And that's exactly, that has to do, you know, like as a glove, it fits like a glove on the strategy that we're going to be talking a little bit today, which is, you know, exactly that, nurturing the value of a potential prospect, of a potential lead, of a potential sign up, and how Facebook is usually, you know, lowering your CPC when it comes to that amount of those kind of strategies. So I think it's a great thing to know where you're advertising. You know.
Okay. The second question that I didn't forget that I have now been paying very close attention to is CPC is dynamic. And this is what I mean by dynamic is I was monitoring some ads over the weekend, and I noticed a great fluctuation. I had one ad running. I'll give one example or case study. I had one ad running on 4 placements. I had a desktop, mobile, audience network, and Instagram. I omitted the right column.
Right.
I had one click on throughout the course of the weekend, one click in the desktop newsfeed. And I saw the price per click go up over the course of the weekend. Even though there were no more clicks, the CPC was still going up. Right. Why is that happening? What's your experience with that?
Well, my experience is that it behaves like Facebook wants to give more exposure to those ads that resonate better with an audience. So when your ad is getting a lot of impressions, but it's not getting any clicks, that means that people are just scrolling on the ad. You know, it can happen on mobile, it can happen on desktop. So probably you need to tweak usually the image, because that's like 80% of the ad and what usually people see. But you know, when you're getting a ton of impressions and you're getting not enough clicks, Facebook says, okay, this is probably not the most relevant ad, so I need to increase the CPC. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's actually charging you per impressions, not per click. But right, since your ad is not getting enough clicks, but it's getting increased impressions, it's actually increasing the cost per click. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a great question and answer to move into the next part of the conversation is how do you drive that cost down? Like right, now that we understand if you publish a poor ad and it's getting impressions but not clicks, the cost is going up. That's a great conversation starter for how do you do the opposite and drive costs down.
Right. Well, there's a bunch of strategies. Let me ask you something. What was the destination of that ad? Were you sending them to a lead magnet, to your own website? Where are you sending them to?
It's a lead magnet on my site. It's the first touch. It's part of my sales funnel. It's touch number one.
Right. It makes a lot of sense, because here's the deal. And I have been experimenting a ton, and I have a couple of screens to show you and whatnot. When you're sending people to a lead magnet, you know that Facebook has released the lead capture kind of ads. You know, when you can actually, you know, optimize your ads to capture leads. So we know that they are okay with it. You know that you're driving people to a lead capture. Now, here's the deal, and this has to do with the nurturing process, and this has to do with Facebook being a social platform. I have had great results when you're sending people from Facebook that is completely cold traffic, the first touch, as you were saying, that do not know you, they do not know who you are, they may even not be aware that they have a need or a problem, and you're sending that people into ungated content. And by ungated content, I mean it can be an article, it can be a guide, it can be, you know, whatever kind of content that you have out there that is not behind a gate. I mean, they just land on the website and they read through the article. Okay. Now, here's the deal. When you're sending that campaign, because this strategy has probably 3 steps. Step number 1 is to send people to ungated content. This is completely cold traffic, you know, that you get from targeting Facebook. So you're sending those people into a really good guide. And this is a keyword, you know, really a really good guide, a guide that you have written on, for example, how to optimize your Facebook feed or how to use Facebook Live for business or those kind of things. So you set up that guide, and you know, when you set up that guide, let's say that it has 2,000 words, 2,500 words, whatever, you have call to actions across the guide. But again, the guide is ungated content. Now, it's super important that you send people, that you use that ad to send people to your website, not to your, let's say, Facebook page or to your Facebook group or to your YouTube channel. You want to send people into an ecosystem that you can control, because this is step number 2. You want to install a pixel, you know, a Facebook pixel on it, a retargeting pixel, as you will call it. Now, this strategy works with the lead nurturing process. I mean, you're sending people to a guide and you're cooking them to have them retarget later. And that's step number 3. You know, step number 1, ungated content. Step number 2, I have a retargeting pixel in place. And step number 3 is to make a retargeting campaign. And you send those retargeting people into your lead magnet, you know? So instead of sending directly cold traffic into a lead magnet, you're sending them after they have consumed your content, after they have gone through your website, after they have probably, you know, read through the content, or at least they have, you know, they kind of know who you are, or they kind of read who you are, or at least they have one point of contact, as you were saying. So in my experience, these will potentially, you know, like 9 times out of 10, because I'm going to show you on 3 different niches and 3 different campaigns, etc., how these lower the click. So let's say that you're paying maybe, I don't know, 40 cents, 30 cents, 20 cents, or something like that, or maybe even 60 cents per click when sending people directly into a lead magnet. Mm-hmm. When you apply this strategy, 2 things happen. Number 1 is that you are playing with Facebook rules. That is, people are being social, people are consuming information. So they are not trying to purchase anything. So you are playing with those rules and you're sending people to engaged content, to an article. The second thing is that people that click to your landing page, you know, the retargeting process, they are much more engaged because they have clicked twice on your article. Mm-hmm. First for engaged content, second for the lead magnet. And the conversion rate for the lead magnet shoots up. You know what I mean? Because you're driving that kind of people into your lead magnet. So let's say that you're paying 50 cents or 30 cents or 40 cents per click. I have some prints that I can later share that I'm paying, let's say, maybe 5 cents per click when sending to engaged content, and then another 5 cents when sending to a retargeting from the retargeting campaign. So that's total 10 cents per click to drive people into my landing page instead of 50 cents. You know what I mean? So that does make sense?
Absolutely. Okay. So what are your thoughts? This is one of my strategies, is to put a lead magnet within evergreen content. So it's not a squeeze page. Right. And not gating it, they can easily escape from. And by doing this, my bounce rate went from, I used to have a lead magnet as a squeeze page, and my bounce rate was 70, 80%. And by putting the evergreen content or putting the lead magnet in the evergreen, my bounce rate this weekend was between 20 and 30%, which I was very happy with. And I did get some opt-ins. So I was happy with that. So what are your thoughts on putting a lead magnet within evergreen?
Well, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense, Michael. And even further, when the lead magnet is, or the opt-in bait is, or cheese, as I like to call them, the cheese has to do with the article itself, you know, and it's super relevant to the people that are actually consuming the content. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, every kind of ad or campaign has like different objectives. The first campaign that you're making is to send people to your website to read their content, not to opt in. You know, if you get an opt-in, that's great, but that's not the point. The point is on that campaign to cookie them and to have that first point of contact. It's a great thing that you're having the lead magnet within the evergreen content, because that could potentially trigger the opt-in. Then you can retarget those people that didn't opt in, you know, with something like, hey, you missed the lead magnet, or you missed the guide, or you missed the checklist, whatever is your opt-in bait. So that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Okay. And just for a few people joined on Facebook, and just so everyone understands, evergreen content is like boilerplate. So it includes your menu and maybe a recent blog post article widget. And what it does is it's the evergreen content that's common across multiple pages on your site, or all pages on your site. Fair enough description?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it does.
Super.
Yeah.
Next question. I'm trying to do this in some order that makes some common sense. So we focused, the last part of the conversation is once people land on your site and trying to optimize the experience for them, specifically at touch 1, but we also discussed subsequent retargeted ads that induce clicks and how to get them those previous visitors more engaged. Let's go back to the ad side of the fence, the ad platform itself. What can we do with our ads to drive CPC down? Right.
That's a great question, actually, because once you have this kind of funnel in place, you want to really start optimizing it, you know, and that's where the whole ads things come to place. Now, what I like doing when I'm starting out a new campaign is to split test, you know, and by split test, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It just has to make sense. So, you have access to all of those stock photos on Facebook, or you can make your own ads for your own picture for the ads. What I like to do when I'm starting out a campaign from complete cold traffic, and this is the campaign that is going to send people to your website, I like to set up at least 4 to 5 images, 4 to 5 images on the ad itself. Now, so I will end up with 6 different ads with same headline, same content, same copy, same call to action, but 6 different images. And again, it doesn't matter if you're doing this on Instagram, on the timeline, on the desktop, on the mobile, the image is still, the 80% of the ad. So that's the first thing that I split test. So I start with 4 or 5 different images, and then I leave the campaign run for, let's say, 3 days. And then you go back and you will see the ones that are really getting engagement, the ones that are really getting clicks. And you will have some data to start comparing the different images. Some images will have impressions, but they will not have clicks. And funny thing is, as you were saying before, when you get a click on that image, the CPC will go through the roof because they were having impressions, but no clicks. Right. So those are kind of losers, and I just, deactivate them. But then you have like maybe 1 or 2 images that are doing really, really well. So I leave those running because I know I have a winner. So once I have 1 or 2 images, then I split test. I do the same process with the header of the ad, the heading of the ad.
Image, then header. Very nice.
Yep. Yeah. So first the image, then the header. And then you want to repeat the process. If you really want to go deep into optimization, you want to go deep in the process. So you have the best performing image with the best performing header, with the best performing copy, the copy of the ad that goes below, and the best performing call to action, because there's a big difference between learn more, sign up, download. There's a big difference on those. So at the end of the day, let's say that, split testing is kind of a time consuming process, and it takes some time to go about split testing. So let's say that after 10 days or 15 days, with 3 days, 3 days processes, you have like the best performing ad for that campaign, So that's how I start doing split testing and lower the CPC, but it all starts with the images, in my opinion.
Okay, great points. And you know what? I'm going to start, because I don't go about my split testing with any kind of recipe.
Right.
So I'm going to use your recipe, because I split test everything at once, and I'll have all kinds of craziness going on. And if you don't have any organization, a week from now, the data's very difficult to interpret. So I like the structured approach: image, then headline. That's very good. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because at the end of the day, when split testing, you want to split only one only one thing of the ad, because otherwise you do not know what's affecting CPC or conversions, whatever, And then once you have the best performing ad, then you can go into split testing, for example, the lead magnet, the landing page, whatever. But that's kind of more, you start split testing the different variables, but you need to do it one by one. This is kind of this is where many marketers quit. And this is kind of what separates, what are the good performers, or the ones that take their time to split test, and the ones that don't. Because when you're spending a ton of money on Facebook, a 1% conversion rate variable, or a 2% or a 5% conversion rate can make a lot of money, in the process at the end of the day. So it's kind of it's boring. It's not glamorous, but you need to do it anyways.
I love it.
Right.
I love learning that each and every funnel, each and every ad, everything's different. So it's never the same problem twice. That's why I love it.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
As you were talking about how to split test your ads with the goal of driving CPC down, I thought of 2 questions. Number 1, you said if you split the ad, so you're splitting an ad in the same ad set into 6 different ads. Now, how much budget should be thrown at the ad set to get enough coverage so that the 6 separate tests have representative data? If you're doing $5 a day split across six ads, that's probably not enough data. Am I right?
Yeah.
What's the minimum budget you should spend for a split of 6 ads?
Well, on that case, you know, I like doing for, let's say, $10 a day for 3 days or so. And then you can, you know, deactivate the non-performing ads, and then you can reduce the budget a little bit, you know, because the exact same amount of budget will divide itself into different ads. So $10 a day for 3 days, that's $30. And then if you end up with 3 ads, you end up, you know, with $6 a day or that kind of thing. But that's a great question, actually, because you want that data to be consistent. Anyways, the way Facebook works is that as long as, you know, you start from a blank slate with the 6 different ads, and, you know, it will end up at the end of the 3rd day, usually 3 days, maybe 4, depending on how big your targeting is. At the end of the 3rd or 4th day, you will have enough data, and Facebook automatically will start showing the non-performing, the best performing ads a ton more, you know, because again, the main point of Facebook is that they want to give the user the best experience as possible. So that's the deal, you know, and you need to have that in mind. That's why maybe your ads are not being shown because they are not getting enough amount of traction or interaction. So you need to have that in mind. Facebook itself will start showing and optimizing the ads as time goes by, you know.
Very, very nice. So as you were also explaining this, you had mentioned one part of the conversation, 15 days, and I forget in what context you had said it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a great lead into the next part of this is, so we published our first ad, we've split the images, we're starting to split the headline, and now we're into the 15-day window. What happens after the first round of ads are published and you're getting engagement, you're getting clicks? Do you now implement the second step of your funnel, your drip, whatever? What do you do now to start to capture value back from your ads?
Well, that's actually a great question. You know, what I start doing is when I start a campaign, I already install the pixel, you know, immediately, you know. Absolutely.
Great point.
Yeah. And that's actually a great point that you make, because you want that pixel, you know, it used to be different pixels for different websites. Now it's one pixel for all of the ad account, but that pixel is intelligent enough so that it will start gathering data from day one on the user that lands on your website, you know, the interaction that they have, and they start gathering data. That's why you end up getting lower CPC, because they gather data and they see, okay, these guys are actually interacting with the page. So I start from day one. I start collecting data on day one. Now, you can do this in parallel. Like, you can start your own Facebook campaign, and then 15 days later, once you have the best performing ad, you just need to keep it running and keep sending traffic. And you start the second part of the process, which would be to repeat the process, but instead of sending people to the ungated content, you want to send people into your landing page, your squeeze page, your lead magnet page, your opt-in bait, whatever. So that's where, and then you repeat the process. So by the end of, you know, usually a month of running ads, you have the best performing ad that's bringing people into your ungated content, and you have the best performing ad that's bringing people into a landing page. Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great point. Having the pixel installed ahead of time, a lot of people do have the pixel installed. A lot of people understand and know the pixel, but here's what I found is people don't understand how to use the pixel, right? Mm-hmm. So I think everybody nowadays that's running some kind of ads from the ad platform, not necessarily Boost Post or any of that, they have the pixel installed. Then they struggle with, after getting the data, what do I do next? Like, right, I have this great data, what do I do? So right, what are some recommendations that you have that are simple and easy for people to start using the data and the audience is captured in the pixel today to start capturing value? What are your recommendations?
Well, that's a great question, because I really think that once you send enough traffic to Facebook, so that, you know, it's not like you need to, it's said that you need to season the pixel. You need to season the pixel and you need to let it develop, so that then after the fact, Facebook will make the heavy lifting. Because here's what I think, and here what I believe is that Facebook at any point in the day and any point in the week has much more data about their users than I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I'm trying to optimize for conversions, for example, on the second step of the strategy. So step number one, first campaign, you optimize for clicks because you want traffic. Step number two, campaign number two, the retargeting campaign, you want to optimize for conversions, because that's the deal. You want people converting. They have seen your content. On the second campaign, you want them converting. And by that time, the pixel has gathered enough data to see which kind of users you have on your website, which kind of, you know, interaction they have, and you have much more data to work with on the conversion side of things. Now, what I like doing, if you're starting out, just make a regular retargeting campaign or a regular pixel and install it on every page of your website, because at the end of the day, you will cookie everyone, which is a good thing initially. Then you want to go like deeper into different retargeting campaigns based on how they behave. But, you know, initially what you want to do is to install the pixel just as you start gathering data from day one. This is like gathering emails. You know, you need to start doing it from day one. Even if you do not have enough content, if you do not have enough value, you need to start gathering emails from day one, because that, and here's why it works so well and why you will notice a drop in the CPC on the retargeting campaign. Because, you know, retargeting works in a way that exact configuration of audience, that exact configuration of people is exclusive to your website. Nobody else is bidding on those exact same configuration of users. You know what I mean? That means that CPC drops. It plummets because nobody else is bidding on that particular audience. It's yours, exclusively yours for your website. That makes it plummet like crazy.
Yes. Great.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question from Tim Somers over on Facebook,
Okay.
also known as Bizarre Marketing, a fellow Detroit entrepreneur. Tim asks, when targeting a niche, say mortgage brokers, and there are 2 million nationwide, do you start testing by state, multi-state, or entire 2 million?
Well, if you have no data whatsoever, if you're starting out fresh, I will start broad. You know, I will start with the 2 million and send those people into ungated content, and you can repeat the strategy. But remember that you have no data whatsoever. You have pretty much no idea what's going on. You can know the market, but Facebook, it will be optimizing as time goes by. This is another good example, and you need to give Facebook some time, you know. Sometimes you start a campaign and you want to see results like 12 hours later, and you say this is not working, or you're paying much more per click initially than afterwards that you have done some optimization. So you need to give Facebook some time, you know, so that it becomes optimizing. But I will start wide. I will start with the 2 million, and then you can narrow it down as time goes by.
I'll add on to that. When I got into Facebook, for some reason, I started to go down the path of doing very niche, defined, tight audiences, and I was unhappy because my CPC was way higher than I wanted it to be. So I took a step back. I cried uncle. I said, okay, I was wrong, and now I do broad. So just like you do, I attack broad and then narrow it down as needed.
Yeah, makes sense. And you know, when you start implementing these kind of strategies, you start sending from those 2 million people. Some of them will resonate better with your ads. Some of them will resonate better with your content. And then you start retargeting those people. And then when you start retargeting, then you can be a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Say on the mortgage broker, you need when you're targeting like different states and those kind of things, you can be more specific on the retargeting side of things. So you are only showing ads to people in Florida, for example. You know what I mean? But initially, send a ton of traffic, send as much traffic as you possibly can to engaged content, so that the Facebook pixel has, has data to feed on.
How much time do you have, Hernan? I think you said you had to go at 15 minutes before 10?
Yeah, probably I have another 10, 15 minutes. We can do it.
Okay, I have one question, and then perhaps it would be helpful if you or I showed the back end of the Facebook audience and create a custom audience. So I'm prepared to do that unless you want to do it.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I think I think I can do it on an account that I have right here. Let me show you. And this is super interesting. Let me show you real quick. Let me see if I can show you. Do you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Can you see my screen? Okay.
You may want to blow the zoom up to maybe 125 or 150 so we can get a little better.
Okay. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Okay. Can you see it now?
A little better. Maybe one more zoom.
Okay. What about now?
Much better. Much better. Thank you.
Okay. So this is for Spanish market. So it's in euros. So forgive me about that. But here, as you can see here, I'm sending people to ungated content. Okay. And I'm paying 2 cents of euro, which is around 3 cents of $1 per click. Okay. So this is ungated content, right? This is sending people to an article, just right from Facebook, sending people to an article. Mm-hmm. And this is another campaign that I'm sending people to gated content. This is people that I'm sending to a lead magnet. And the exact same, the exact same targeting, the exact same everything. And as you can see, I'm sending, almost, 30 times the amount of clicks for 2 times the amount of money, because here I spent like $30 and here I spent $55. So as you can see, I'm sending a bunch more of traffic just by sending them to ungated content. Now, let me show you real quick how you want to go and create a custom audience. So first off, on your ads manager, you want to go to the tools here, and you want to go to pixels. Okay, assets, pixels. You want to click on that pixels, and here's going to show you the general pixel for your ad for your ads campaign. Okay. So here you want to go to actions and you want to view the pixel code. And this is the code that you want to copy and you want to install it on the header of all of your pages. All of your pages. When you're starting out, make just grab this and paste it on the header of all of your pages of your website. Okay, so that's step number 1. Then once you have that installed and you have left, here you can see how many people are actually firing up the pixel. I had 1,000 people here, 800 people, here we have a projected like 300 people or something like that. These are people firing the pixel once you have it on your website. Okay. Now, the next step would be to create an audience. So you want to go here inside of the pixel. You want to create an audience. Boom, you click here. And here is where you set up the kind of audience that you want to create. So the audience that I'm going to create is a general audience. So here is anyone who visits your website. This is the option that you wanna choose. You can go much more specific, but let's do a general one. So anyone who visits your website, and you might or might not have this option, depending if you have this pixel, the same pixel installed on many domains. Because remember, guys, that a couple of months back, you had like 1 pixel per domain or 1 pixel per website. Right now, you can use the same pixel on many websites. So you might or might not have this option right here. I do, because I have this pixel on many websites. But here is the website that I want to choose. So the domain that I want to choose is visitmywebsite.com. On this case, this is the one, okay? So this is the website that I have my pixel on, and the last 30 days will do, include past website traffic, and bam, I create the audience. I already have an audience create this for this, but let me see if I can create another audience. Well, not in this case. Oh, yeah, because let me, and here I'm going to name my audience. So it's going to be something like website.com general audience. Boom. And then I create the audience. Okay. Once I create the audience, I can target these guys, this audience right here from a Facebook ad. So I can show you how to do that real quick if you want, Mike.
Do you have time?
Yeah. I can make a quick ad.
Sure. And then while you're doing that, I'll share some of the lessons learned I have.
Sounds good.
While you're preparing. Number one, the importance of URL structure here. If you have a proper URL structure and nomenclature for all of your URLs, it becomes much easier later on to retarget by different types of niche audiences. As an example, every time I write a post on my website for Facebook Live, in my URL, I put Facebook-Live. So now I can aggregate all my Facebook Live content and audiences into one group, not just one page. Does that make sense?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you do the same?
Yeah, definitely.
And then another lesson learned is to be able to granularly identify audiences that arrive on your page from different sources is the importance of UTM tracking codes, which is kind of outside the scope of today's conversation. Mm. But I want to plant the seed with people to make sure that they're using UTM tracking codes.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I use them for pretty much everything. And then you can see on analytics what's going on your website. So, okay. So let me show you real quick here. I'm going to create a campaign so that I can target that people that visit my website. So I'm going to send people to my website. I'm going to choose here, send people to my website. I'm going to continue. And then I want to choose the audience that I have created. Okay, so include, I'm going to use the audience. So this is the audience that I have created. Okay, remember that probably if you do not have the audience here is because people have not gone through the pixel here enough. Okay, that's why I install the pixel right off the bat, and then I start sending traffic from Facebook. So here, this is going to be the general audience. As you can see, I have like 3,500 people in here right now. And here I'm going to, and here is where I can start, segmenting for demographics, like as you were saying from the real estate market, you can start, segmenting by states, etc. You can start doing this. So this is going to be the ad that's going to send people to my gated content, okay, to my lead magnet, because I'm using this custom audience right here. So let's do this. Let's just keep it as it is right now. So as you can see, let's say $10 a day initially. And then I'm going to run my ads continuously. Links click to my website. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Continue. And that's how, you can select your images. You can turn off the news feed ads or select the media. Let's do that quick. Let's see if I have any images right here. Let's do this one real quick. Boom, I have it here. And then the website URL that I'm going to send people to. This, remember, guys, is going to be your lead magnet page, okay? Your lead magnet page is here because, again, we are using the audience that we have created earlier on, okay? So you put the website URL, the headline, and then the text. Now, how do you want to split test this? Super easy. You add more images. Let me browse. Let's see if I can do this quick. Browse. So I'm going to just, pick a couple of images. Boom. Boom, 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 Boom. There we go. I think we're done.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have like 6 images right here. And as you can see, it's gonna split test them into all of these. And then you go back and see what's going on with your images. And just like that, you deactivate the less performing ones. So that's pretty simple how you do it. So.
Super.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That was great.
No problem. No problem.
And I know you're running short on time. So I always like to, at the end, give a walk away or a summary of what's been discussed. And then if someone would like to reach out to you and learn more, leave your contact information. So
okay,
let's summarize real quick what we talked about. Number one, we talked about Facebook ads. We started out with the conversation of working on the website. Like once people get to your website, we had an in-depth conversation about the types of content once a consumer lands on your website, and we talked about lead magnets versus gated content versus ungated content. And Hernan recommends that for the first touch, you use ungated content, correct?
That's right. That's right. That's what I've been trying, and it's been working great for me.
Oh, great. And then the second part of our conversation was in the Facebook ad platform, how to construct ads, how to construct different split tests of ads, how to interpret the data, make intelligent decisions. And an important recipe that I learned today was number one, first split test the images. Then once you have enough data to make decisions, then start split testing the headlines, then rather than doing it all at once, which turns into chaos.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's pretty much sums it up. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and I think you have recorded this so that people can actually go back to this over and over again and see what's going on. I'd love to know how it's working for you guys. It's been working amazingly for me. And, if you want to drop me a line on Twitter, I think I can send a message right here with my Twitter account so that you guys can follow me over there. That's my Twitter account. And if you want to, if you want to drop me a line or you drop me a comment or a mention over there, I will be more than happy to answer it. I'm pretty active over there. So that's basically it.
All right, very cool. And then I'll make sure that I comment on all of the places that on Facebook this has been shared, so people know how to get a hold of you as well.
That's amazing.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd love to have you on again sometime, anytime you want.
Sure.
And,
that would be cool.
Very cool.
All
right,
Mike.
Again, this is Mike Lucy, #Marketing with Mike of 3D Business Solutions. Thank you again, Hernan, for joining and sharing this wonderful knowledge. I can be reached via phone at 717-420-0972. Please note that's my cell phone, direct, and I do answer it pretty religiously. That's all I have. Once again, big thank you to Hernan, and everyone have a great week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.